pioneer of design education in India. They pride themselves in developing not only a college but a community of future thinkers who seek to embrace design challenges, creating a better world tomorrow. To discuss more on this, I have Mr. Saurabh Singh with me, who is the franchise manager of Cherry Institute of Fashion and Technology. A very warm welcome to you, Saurabh, and thank you for joining us. I would like you to give more insight to the journey so far. Over to you.
Thank you, Inka. Thank you for the lovely introduction. Hi, everyone. Those who are live, I hope all of you are doing well. So, as Alka told, we are a design institute. We are into design education, and we started our institute in the year 1988, when design education was not a thing, and it was started by our visionary founders, Mr. R. Sitara and Mr. Chandrakant Dalal, with just one vision to make design education accessible to everyone. And with that dream, we are continuing the legacy from the last 35 years, and hopefully will continue very long in the future as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I can see there are, your expertise in the field of fashion and then jewelry, makeup, communication. So you as a company started all together in the very first phase, or gradually you grow and adapt the more feathers to your already, the going, the different type of the product.
Yeah, so we started at a design education field. So firstly, we started as a fashion institute. So initially, we introduced fashion courses in the field. That was the vision of our founders, Mr. Dalal and Mr. Chandrakant Dalal. And then later on, we felt the need to enter the design field of other, fields like interior designing, jewelry designing, because we felt the need, and there was a gap in the market. There was not enough institute which are providing these educations. So we took the plunge and we started these courses in jewelry, also in interior designing as well. And then we started several other courses like in makeup, like in fashion styling, in garment manufacturing. So we started niche courses as well to fill the gap, because there was a demand and there was no one to fill it. So we as an institute, since we are in the pioneer of design education, we started this as well.
Yes, yes. Thank you for the introduction. Help me in understanding why will people choose JD Institute of Fashion and Technology, right? Why it is considered to be a good idea in the franchising, in terms of your services, your offering, your hand holding, your marketing, whichever you feel that has to be conveyed to the prospect who would be interested to take up your franchise.
Yeah, sure. So first of all, I would like to tell something about the design education field per se. See, design is a thing which was not that popular in 1988, but still we started it because there was a vision attached to it. So in a way, we were the pioneer in design education. But now, if we look at the design education field, it's a huge market. It's not just now Bollywood or Hollywood. We see design aspirants everywhere. Whether be it on Instagram models or influencers on different microblogging sites or anywhere else. We see this curiosity for designing, and it's neat. But there are very few people who know the design per se. If I talk about fashion designing, let's say. So even though we aspire to fashionista, we aspire to be a good fashion sense, to have a good fashion sense, but we don't have anyone to guide us. So giving education in that is very important, right? And now, more so after COVID, I think there's a need for this, because we have many people who wants to be in this field. So the gap that we have right now, in terms of the demand and supply, we have a lot more people interested in design, fashion designing, interior designing, but the amount of good institutes that we have is very less. There are few institutes which give quality education, and we are one of them, because we started at a time when there was no other institutes. We started at a time when this design, fashion designing, interior designing was not a thing,
Yes,
and
yes,
we are
yes.
continuing from that. So that is why design education is a very fascinating field right now. And now, if I talk about our brand's perspective, then it's a resolution-free business, as written there. Because see, whether anything is going to happen in the anywhere, but this particular field, entertainment field, if I can say, will always going to be there. And for this field, we'll need fashion designers. We'll need interior designers in fields where people want to do something with their homes, or they want to open their shops. Be it a retail shop, be it a commercial shop, there's always going to be need for interior designers. And similarly for fashion designers in the entertainment industry, or starting their own outlets. So we see several brands across the world. So who is going to design the clothes for them? Fashion designers. So we have a huge need for interior and fashion design, right? So that's why it's a recession free business, because clothing and this interior designing nowadays, after in metro cities particularly, there's a need for this. And the second thing is, it's a long term investment. So if I talk about education field per se, if I don't talk about fashion designing and interior designing, if I talk about education field, it's a long term investment. You invest in education, it's going to
Yes, yes,
pay you in dividends in the long run. So that's why stable business, education field is a stable business, I
yes,
would say.
yes,
Right? And
yes.
in terms of
Yeah, there are many
investment.
businesses which is short lived and lives for a short span of time, but education is a something which goes forever, you know.
Yeah, yeah. So and the third thing is, there's no much investment in terms of, if I talk about capital expenditures, there's not much investment. You just have to have a space, and you can start with basic amenities, and you can build on that.
Yes.
Right? That's how we started, at least. When we didn't have any idea of design education, we started in 1988, and we built on that, and now we are one of the leading design institute in the country,
Yeah.
right? And
Yes.
obviously, an education sector gives you a sense of recognition and respect in the community. If you're involved
True. True.
anyway, if you're involved with education field, it gives a certain respect. uh, I would not say that is true with some of the other businesses, but education field is something, out of nowhere people start giving you respect. There's respect
Hmm.
for education field in the community,
Yeah.
and
And unlike other businesses, I think education will lead to better work life balance. This is, I truly believe. Right?
yes,
Once you have the everything in system, when there is a business at an autopilot mode, I think there
hmm,
are less challenges if I compare to any other vertical. For example, food. Right? It's
hmm, hmm,
the challenge
hmm.
will be forever in the operations.
Yes,
So,
yes.
the work-life balance is, I think, is one of the highlights to get into education franchise business.
Yeah, sure. Because the operational challenges in this business is very little. Once you streamline the process, it's just the same. You just have to follow the process. It's going to run
Yeah,
smoothly for the course of the year.
true, true, true.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have a good understanding. Let's move to the next slide, wherein we will ask Saurabh in regards to like every brand. I'm sure JD Institute must have a certain set of criteria on the basis of which they decide that that's particular person in terms of their background or their skill set or an education background they look for. Please help me in giving more understanding about your criteria.
Yeah. So, if I talk about the education requirement of a franchisee, so we don't have any requirement as such, because see, to run a business, you don't need education. You need a business sense, right? And yeah, even that's an irony that it's an education
Yeah,
field. But even if you don't have any educational degree as such, you'll be able to run a business without any heavy degrees as such.
yeah,
Because the thing is, I think business needs common sense, right? It needs common sense. You have to think on your feet, and that's it. So if
yeah,
anyone has a business background, or if he is running a business, in any kind of business,
Yeah.
Preferably, we would prefer, people who are from educational background. But even if they are not, I mean, business sense is what we need, to
Yeah.
run a business. Because basically, the thing is, you need to have the managerial skills, I think, to run a business. Once you have a good set of people, you can easily run a business if you have good managerial skills, right? And as I told before, that the operational challenges in this field is very less, right? So once you launch your business, it's all totally hunky dory later on. So again, for education and background, we just need people who are from business background or who
Yeah.
has some kind of business sense. And
Yeah. I think interest for getting into a business in education is important, is very important. Otherwise, other than that, the person should have acumen to run business, So that
correct.
is, I think, that is the with like any brand. I think you have the same kind of a criteria. How about time management? So in terms of early operation, how much time involvement would be required for from the franchisee partner?
Yeah, so I would say initially, if a franchisee can give 4 to 6 or 4 to 7 hours of their daily time, that would be enough to launch the business. I would
Yes.
say
Yes.
that again depends on the scale that we are looking at, right? If the scale is less, then probably it will take even lesser time. If the scale is big, probably he has to give a little more time. But on an average, I would say 4 to 7 hours is good enough time at the initial phase. Once you have set the business, there's nothing in terms of the amount of time that you have to give.
Yeah.
You just have to monitor. You
Yes.
can do it, depending on your time. Let's say if you're involved in some other kind of businesses, or you are doing something else with your life, then also it's fine. Because business is one thing which should give us the liberty to do whatever we want to do, right? It's
True,
about
true,
financial
true.
freedom, you know. Obviously some people do it for passion, and that's great. So if a passionate people come, someone who's very passionate for design and education, if they come on board, I mean, they would be happily giving their time, and they'll be happy doing that.
Yeah.
But if someone wants to get earn money from that, so is you are earning money without giving any time once you set the business.
Hmm.
But the
Correct.
thing is, for that, you need to hire a good bunch of people, which the corporate will fully support to hire it. Because uh, we are hiring people from the last 35 years, so we know what a good set of people look at a particular center, or what good people are for running a business.
Yeah. Yeah. I am very sure to get collaborated with brands like JD Institute, which is already established over 3 decades. So
Hmm.
the kickstart, we will get into the discussion in the financial side when we are going to talk about. But I think this is going to help when you get collaborated and then you have a kickstart, and then gradually the time involvement once you have everything in place will take place with brands like Institute ASAP. So, as I said that we are going to speak about financials. We had a good understanding in terms of how JD start, and then what are the different the pattern or the portfolio of the product and the services what they have. So we had a good understanding in terms of how they want to get it, and then what are the criteria on the basis of which they decide a particular franchise partner. Please help me in giving an understanding about the total investment initial, which include the franchisee fee, setup cost, and other factors of the cost, and with the space requirement.
Yeah, so as I was telling earlier, also there's not much capital expenditure that is required for this particular business. So the only capital expenditure that particular franchise would require is investment in the infra part. That
Yeah,
includes two parts. First is making the interiors, and the second is equipments and furnitures. That's the only two major costs that is there in terms of capital expenditures, right?
sure.
So now, as you can see, the total capex is ranging from 20 to 50 lakhs. That's a huge range, right? But that depends a lot on the total capital expenditure. Depends a lot on where we are opening our institute, right? So let's say if we are opening that in a tier one cities, like let's say, even though we have a headquarters in Delhi, let's say Delhi, for example. Now that's a huge market,
Hmm.
right? that's a huge market, and the competition will also be more in this market. So for that, we need to build a good infrastructure, so that total capital expenditure would increase, right? Second
Yeah,
is how much student we are targeting. So see, the thing is, JD as a brand will pull in, automatically pull in some crowd, the initial
yeah,
crowd,
yeah,
because people know about JD. So you will get students flowing initially, based on the JD brand. But let's say you are aspirational and you are aiming for, very high number. So for that, we need to spend a little more on in terms of infrastructure, in terms of equipments and furnitures. We have to give them, a large set of equipments, a large set of furniture will be required for that. So again, that total capital expenditure will increase, right?
yeah,
Now, the second thing is about franchise fee. So the franchise fee range from 9 to 12 lakh rupees. Mm. And that again depends on the region where we are opening it, right? So again, let's say if you are opening in, let's say Delhi, so that franchise fee will be on the higher side. And if
yeah,
you're, let's say, opening in a tier 2 city, that will be on the lower side.
yeah.
And if I talk about the space requirement, so generally we require 3,000 to 5,000 square feet. Right? That would accommodate the targeted number of students. But in case if in future if we require more space because we have more number of admissions, then we can modify the center or we can buy some more space for that.
Sure.
But at the initial phase, I would say 3,000 to 5,000 square feet is good enough space to start.
Yeah, yeah. So you mean, the space requirement has to be started with the 3,000 square feet. That's how, if you have a space requirement varying from 3,000 to 5,000 square feet, that's how the price from, there is a variation. So don't get confused. This is a message to all the, viewers who is watching right now. So 20 to 50 lakh is basically, as per the space. If you they
Yeah,
start
yeah,
with 3,000, then so is the pricing. So pricing
yeah.
threshold, yeah, to begin with is a 20 lakh and goes to the maximum of a 50 lakh to create everything, the infrastructure and other equipments.
Yes,
So
yes,
yeah, it's quite clear. Let's
yeah.
move to the next slide to understand about return on investment. Oh, okay. So anything before we start about your success stories and then other things, which adds wings to your already running feathers. Before that, can you help me about approx ROI? So the tentative, how much time does it take to get a money recovered as a returns?
Yeah. So, since the capital expenditure that we are spending is comparatively less than other businesses, but the amount of money that you can earn in a particular year is very huge, and it exponentially increase in the second year, because the thing is we have carryover students from the first year. So
Yeah.
in the second year itself, most of the businesses can achieve
Okay.
their ROI. They would be getting their ROI in the second year itself. And if everything goes as planned, what we have planned initially, then probably in the first year itself, a particular franchisee can
Sure.
get their ROI. Yeah.
Sure, sure. So, according to the Saurabh, few of the location, few of the businesses, again, it depends upon the investment they have already done for, creating infrastructure. So it
Hmm.
started 12 months is the timeline what he looks to get the money recovered, and, to the maximum of 24 months when the money will be recovered as returns. Yeah.
Yes.
So, yes, I can see the International Glory Award, which you have won in 2019. Would you like
Yeah.
to add anything that, how was it being awarded and any other important information which can be important for, prospects?
Yeah, I mean, a good institute is always recognized, right? And so we have also been recognized by several international and national organizations, and we have been given awards in prestigious award ceremonies. And a few of the awards that we have got is International Glory
Yeah.
Award that we got in 2019. It was presented to us by famous Bollywood actress, everybody know Madhuri
Yes.
Dixit Nene, right? And this award was basically, it was organized every year in different state to recognize various organizations, entrepreneurs, and service
Yeah.
providers. So we got that, and then again in 2019 itself, we got the Times Power Icon Award. and some of the younger crowd will know this name, Nusrat Barucha. He
Yeah.
presented the award to us.
Yeah.
It was, held in Delhi itself, and it was again for the exemplary contribution of our institute in design field.
Yes.
Then again in 2018 also we got award in leaders in
Oh,
education, which was it was given by Lord Swaraj Paul, who is the chairman of Kaparo Group, at the UK Asian Business Awards.
yeah.
Uh, then in the same year we got best skill learning, for fashion designing in India at the Indian Education Awards. So, and our directors have won numerous awards on an individual level. For example, one of our directors, Mr. Harsh Talal, won the Youth Achiever of the year 2018. It was presented by Mr. Udit Raj, who is the Member of
Yeah.
Parliament.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, and many more awards are there that we
Yeah.
have got as an institute, and our people from our institute have got for their individual contribution in the field.
Thanks, Richard, for approaching us. I can see the message you are listening from Doha in Cameroon. Please mention your requirement because I mean, it's outside India, so I really need to understand that what actually you expect from us. But if you put the text, we will be definitely, try to understand what exactly you look for, and will, help you with the details and, the other information. Yeah. Yes, over to you again, Saurabh. Please, suggest the support which you give to your franchisees, in terms of finding a location, inspection of a location if they have it, making the infrastructure ready, in recruitment and then training, the marketing support which you give, technical support you give, once they start operation, what type of ongoing support you give, right? Please help in giving an understanding more on the same.
Sure, sure. So as I told before, that we have promised to the franchises that they have to give their minimum time, right? And I said so because at least in our institute, the majority of support that is given by corporate itself. Um, so let's go one by one. So if I talk
Yes.
about startup support, right? So we give options, we give specific regions where we can open our institute, right? And that we do based on the research of the market in that particular area, right? We find good places based on our criteria. We
Yeah.
have some criteria on choosing a particular location in a particular city. So we choose that location, and we give those suggestions to the franchisee, right? And in case if we need support on finding the right property for him or her, we again search for properties for them, and we can give them some suggestions on that, what kind of property we can get in that particular region of that city.
Yes.
Once we have this thing finalized, the second most important thing is understanding the market of that particular region or city, right? So we give a detailed regional market analysis, right, of that particular market of that particular city, so that we can understand how many, the number of admissions we can target in a particular year, right?
Yeah.
Then once we have finalized the market, we have finalized the region, we have finalized the property, we have our infra team here who would give full support in terms of handling the vendors there, in terms of looking at the quality of the interiors that is being done there. So that will be supported by us. Our team, our infra team here will be looking after the work there, along with the franchisee. So this is the startup support, and once we have the infra ready, simultaneously we'll be looking for good faculties, because see,
Yes.
education faculties are the most critical and most important aspect,
Correct.
in the business. So it's very important to hire right kind of faculty, and with the kind of brand name that we have, it becomes even more so important, right?
Yeah.
So here our for the faculty recruitment, the interviews for that is taken by the top management here, because we want the best faculties to be in our institute anywhere in India. So we will be giving we'll be shortlisting some resumes for the franchisees, and
Yes.
we'll be taking their interviews, and obviously the financials will be discussed with the franchisee, and then again will help with all kinds of employment contract. And even though we have hired a good faculty, but they need some kind of training on how to give the education to the students. So
Yeah.
that also, the training part also will be covered by us. Here our top management and top faculties here will be training the newly hired faculties there.
Sure.
So in terms of startup, these are all supports. I mean, that includes everything that we give to the franchise.
Yeah. Great, great. So, the company has, 360-degree support in terms of
Yeah,
everything, at the execution level, at the marketing level, at, support level in terms of recruitment and then shortlisting of property. Everything is from the company side. So
yeah,
related,
yeah.
related to the, operational aspect of JD Institute of a Franchise, I would like to understand which are the things, if everything goes well, you have finalized a property and then he started running wonderfully good, but somehow, going forward in the operations, he is facing an issue in terms of, getting the business, right? So what type of support, as an interim, you give, to perform better if they are not performed well, or a fail?
Yes.
So help
Uh,
me, how will you help a franchise?
yes, yes. So, as I told you before, that almost all the supports is given from the corporate in every field, be it course curriculum, be it marketing, be it hiring, be it accounts. All the support is given by the corporate. So, if we see a franchisee, not doing that well up to the expectation, so again, here our marketing team will do a proper, marketing research based on the old data as well as doing the current market analysis, and based on that, we build a
Yes.
development plan for them, right? And we know the gaps because we have regular interaction with the particular campus, right? So uh, whether be it accounts, let's say, or be it number of admissions. So for number of admissions, we have CRM portal, so all the leads or all the admissions that are going to happen, it comes on that particular CRM software. So we have the data, right? And
Yeah.
so we daily monitor all those things here at corporate. Even though franchisee will be doing that, but we also monitor that, so that once we find a gap, we just fill it then and there itself. So once we see that a campus is not performing up to the expectation, we immediately go and do some kind of research with the old data and the market analysis, and then we come up
Sure.
with a development plan, you know and then yeah, we move forward with them. We present the franchisee with several options they can choose depending on their finances, depending on their scale. They can choose from those options, and the corporate team here, the marketing team here at corporate, will implement those plans for them.
Sure, sure. Yeah. So, apart from the local level of marketing, which is very important for, the in and around business, but what type of marketing do they expect from the brand side, right, which a franchisor does for a franchise? Can you help me in giving more understanding on the same?
Yes. So again, marketing is we have a marketing team dedicated for the franchisees, dedicated for the campuses, and we are constantly looking at the performance of our campuses, right? And so here the team, it regularly compiles data, analyze it, and that data, I'm not just talking about in terms of number of leads. We are talking about social media. So how many numbers our social media is giving to us, how many impressions we have got. Then we analyze the competitors in that
Yes.
particular region, because it's important to understand the market. We have to constantly look at the market. So we look at that, and then we
Yeah.
every academic year, every admission session, we give some kind of plan to the franchisee or that particular campus, That plan can be in terms of giving them right publishers. Like for example, if you talk about College Dunya or Just Dial, so what publishers are working in that particular area, and then we give that plan to them. Second is social media promotions, right? So all kinds of artwork and creatives that goes on social media or anywhere that is designed by our creative team here. So we have a 6 to 7 people of 6 to 7 people who are in the creative team, and they are head by a brand strategist. And we don't outsource any of our
Yes.
creative or artwork material, because it's design, because we are from design field. So it's very important to
Okay.
produce quality artworks and creatives for any kind of promotions. So all the creatives and all the artworks is sent by our team to the franchisee, and that we do. The third is
Yeah.
in tier 2 cities, in particularly in tier 2
Sure.
cities,
Sure.
the offline marketing never goes off fashion. So the newspapers, let's say, the hoardings, the posters, so all those things we will be negotiating with the local vendors there, and we'll be negotiating the cost for them. We'll be giving them options, and they can choose whichever newspaper we want. Again, in that as well, we'll suggest them based on their financials and based on the scale again. What kind of ad should go in there, on which page it should go there. Again, for hoarding also, we'll shortlist the location for them. Keep this location is promising for them, there they can put it. Again, for artwork, for the same, will be sent by the team, creative team itself. So
Sure. Sure. Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
So yes, we had the question from Richard, which we have.
yeah, before we move to questions,
Yeah.
Alka,
Sorry.
I would like to say something. Though we have, I think, covered almost everything in terms of our institute, but even after that as well, I would like to say something that uh, the any brand or any organization for that matter is represented by the talent that it joins, right? So, and it becomes more important to look at
I am
the.
not able to repeat question, please.
No, no, I'm just saying it ki, for any brand, or in particularly in education field, it's very important to look at the talent that that brand has churned out, right? You know, and for with us, we have given those kinds of talents to the industry, right? And that gives us the recognition that we are,
Yes.
having today, right? So if I talk about some of the
Yes.
alumni
Yes.
that we have given to the industry, in terms of Rocky Star, Shane Peacock, Urvashi Kaur, Meka Mirpuri, Achal Gulati.
Hmm.
So if you search about them, these people are internationally and nationally recognized fashion designer, interior designers in the design field, right? And so it's very important to look at that aspect. That's why I brought this in. I think we missed it, because this fact is very important, right? The alumni that a particular design educational institute has given to the industry, right? So that is a very important point,
Hmm.
because
Hmm.
any educational
Correct. Correct.
institute is
Correct.
recognized by the kind of people that they have given in this industry, because ultimately we are working for that only, right? To give good people to
Yes.
the industry.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's why I highlighted this point.
True.
Yeah.
True, true. Thank you. Thank you for adding this. Also,
Yeah.
as you said, that it is very, very important that, what is the outcome of having a guidance and then,
Correct.
the education from JD Institute. It becomes very important what they have become. So
Yes.
if they have created their career in a very right shape, you have helped them in, framing in a right way. I think it is one of the most important point we should have to discuss during this live session.
Yes.
Yes, there is a question from the Richard, which we have already taken. So he's listening from Dona, but I'm expecting a reply from him in terms of what is his, the expect he has given. He has a good presentation with that rich data to boost potential. Uh, you know, so thank you for acknowledging us, Richard. If anything beyond this, we can help you. I would read your question. A good presentation with enriched data to boost potential franchise, but unfortunately, this is not my inspired business domain to take a risk in my operational market. How can you sustain interest, but an unfamiliar person in the domain to be assured? Yeah, so I will connect you separately on the same, to understand your requirement in terms of this. Here the live session is mainly for the GD Institute of Fashion and Technology, wherein we are going to discuss about as one of the good opportunity to invest with the good returns. Yes. So there's a message to all who are hearing out and then who hear every Tuesday. Please connect us on the phone number flashing on the screen, 9844443200. You can email us on the address mentioned, which is business@FranchiseBAZAR. Please log into the website franchisebazar.com to come to know about the different opportunity along with JD Institute, which we are representing today. So you can filter your requirement as per your interest for preferred vertical and your investment and location. Thanks, Saurabh, for joining us and giving us time discussing in detail about the beautiful opportunity to invest as the business partner in JD Institute of the Fashion and Technology. Any message to the one who would like to invest in your venture?
Yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot, Alka, for giving me the opportunity to tell me, these people about my institute. Uh, Again, in the end, I would say that people who are watching it, uh, design field and design education is something which is very blooming market right now, because I am seeing it, and I'm seeing it currently in the current business as well, right? And so if anyone who is interested in starting a business with very little challenge, I would say, you know that people
Yes,
must consider once at least to hear us out, because uh, education field is a very beautiful business, right? As I was telling before, that it gives a
yes,
respect to you in community, and it gives a immense satisfaction if you see your students going out and doing something big. So if I don't talk about the business, then also it's very pleasing industry, I would say, giving that satisfaction to the particular franchisee who is running that. If you see your student going out, if you see your brand growing, it gives immense satisfaction to you. And again, if I talk about business from the
yeah,
business standpoint, as I told before, there's positives everywhere, right? Starting from the investment part, starting from the operational challenges, starting going to handling the business. It's very easy to handle this business. It's just that you have to start well. You have to hire a good set of people for yourself, and then that's it. I mean, it goes on autopilot, and it goes
yeah,
for a long time, right? Unlike other businesses, you can really carry this business and grow very big in the long run. And yeah,
yes,
that's it. I
yes, yes,
thank you to everyone who has joined us today and heard us out. So thank you. Looking forward, to listen from you guys.
yes. Yeah. So with this note, I am ending the session. Thank you.